Welcome to the virtual class. Myself, Professor Pinkesh J. Patel from the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. The journey of this college started in the field of engineering and technology as per the guideline of AICTE, that is the All India Council for the Technical Education, New Delhi. In 2004, and MGTER is approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to Gujarat Technological University, that is the GTU Ahmedabad. This institute is located at South Gujarat in peaceful and pollution free environment in the western region of the country. The MGTER aims to provide value based education. The motive behind to provide quality technical education at people's doorstep at an affordable cost. Not only studious activity, but there are many extracurriculum activities like state level tech fest, different sport activity and cultural activity held during the year at MGTER for the overall improvement of the student. Today I will start with the subject of Power System 1 having a subject code of 3140914 BE 3rd year 5th sem. This is the chapter number 1, that is the conventional generation, load curves and tariffs. So inside my previous lecture already we have discussed, that is the conventional generation with the help of different types of power plant, then load curves. Today we can go through a flow of the content, that is the load curves, important terms and factors, load duration curve, example that is based on the load duration curves, then tariff, desirable characteristics of tariffs, then types of tariffs and example. So today we can start with the theory that is based on the tariff. So firstly, what do you mean by tariff? The rate at which electrical energy is supplied to the consumer is known as tariff. The electrical energy produced by power station is delivered to a large number of consumers. The consumers can use electrical energy if it is sold at a reasonable rates. The tariff, that is the rate at which electrical energy is sold. The definition of the tariff, that is the rate at which electrical energy is supplied to a consumer, is known as the tariff. Although tariff should include the total cost of producing and supplying electrical energy plus the profit, it cannot be the same for all types of consumer. It is because the cost of producing electrical energy depend to a considerable extent upon the magnitude of electrical energy consumed by the user and his load calculation. Therefore, in all, due to consideration has to be given two different types of consumer, that is the industrial, domestic and commercial, while fixing the tariffs. This makes the problem suitable rate making highly complicated. The objectives of the tariffs, that is the first one, recovery of cost of producing electrical energy at the power station. Second one, that is the recovery of cost on the capital investment in transmission and distribution system. Third one, that is the recovery of cost of operation and maintenance of supply of electrical energy. And fourth one, that is the suitable profit on the capital investment. So at the end, whatever the tariff that may be chosen for the electricity, that should be minimum. So this is the main objectives of the tariff. Now there are desirable characteristics of the tariffs. So tariff must have the following desirable characteristics. First one, that is the proper return. Second one, that is the fairness. Third one, that is the simplicity. Fourth one, that is the reasonable profit, and fifth one, that is the attractive. So we can start with the first one, proper return. The tariff should be such that it ensures the proper return from each consumer. In other words, the total receipt from the consumers must be equal to the cost of the producing and supplying electrical energy plus reasonable profit. This will enable the electrical supply company to ensure continuous and reliable service to the consumers. Second one, that is the fairness. The tariff must be fair so that different types of consumers are satisfied with the rate of charge of electrical energy. Thus, a big consumer should be charged at a lower rate than a small consumer. It is because increased energy consumption spreads the fixed charges over a greater number of units, that is the reducing the overall cost of the producing electrical energy. Similarly, a consumer whose load condition do not deviate much from the ideal condition should be charged at a lower rate than the one whose load condition that should be changed from the ideal condition. Third one, that is the simplicity. The tariff should be simple so that an ordinary consumer can easily understand the tariff. A complicated tariff may cause an opposition from the public, which is generally distrustful of supply companies. Fourth one, that is the reasonable profit. The profit element in the tariff should be reasonable. An electrical supply company is a public utility company and generally enjoys the benefit of the monopoly. Therefore, the investment is relatively safe due to the non-competition in the market. This calls for the profit to be restricted to 8% so per annum. Last one, that is the attractive. The tariff should be attractive so that a large number of consumers are encouraged to use electrical energy. So this is all the things regarding to the desirable characteristics of tariffs. Now we are going for the next one, that is the types of tariff. So there are 7 types of tariff. First one, that is the simple tariff. Second one, that is the flat rate tariff. Third one, that is the block rate tariff. Fourth one, that is the two-part tariff. Fifth one, that is the maximum demand tariff. Sixth one, that is the power factor tariff. And seventh one, that is the three-part tariff. So now we will discuss all the tariffs one by one. First one, that is the simple tariff. The definition of the simple tariff, that is when there is a fixed rate per unit of energy consumed, then it is called a simple tariff or uniform rate tariff. So in this type of tariff, the price charged per unit is constant. It does not vary with the increase or decrease in the number of unit consumed. The consumption of the electrical energy at the consumer's terminals is recorded by means of an energy meter. So this is the simples of all the tariffs. Now we are going for the second one, that is the flat rate tariff. The definition of the flat rate tariff, when different types of consumers are charged at different uniform per unit rates, it is called a flat rate tariff. So in this type of tariff, the consumers are grouped into different classes and each class of consumers is charged at a different uniform rate. For example, the flat rate per kilowatt kWh for lightning load may be a 60 paisa, whereas it may be a slightly less for a power load. The different classes of consumers are made taking into account their diversity and load factors. The advantages of such a tariff is that it is more fair to different types of consumers and it is quite simple in calculations. Now we are going for the third one, that is the block rate tariff. So definition of the block rate tariff, that is when a given block of energy is charged at a specified rate and the succeeding blocks of energy are charged at a progressively reduced rates, it is called a block rate tariff. So in this block rate tariff, the energy consumption is divided into blocks and the price per unit is fixed in each block. The price per unit in the first block is the highest and it is progressively reduced for the succeeding blocks of energy. For example, the first 30 units may be charged at a rate of 30 paisa per unit, whereas next 25 unit at the rate of 55 paisa per unit, and remaining all the unit may be charged at the rate of 30 paisa per unit. So this type of tariff is used for majority of residential and small commercial consumers. Now we are going for the fourth one, two-part tariff. So definition of the two-part tariff, that is when the rate of electrical energy is charged on the basis of maximum demand of the consumer and the unit consumes, it is called a two-part tariff. So in two-part tariff, the total charge to be made from the consumers is divided into two parts. First one, that is the fixed charges, and second one, that is the running charges. The fixed charges depend upon the maximum demand of the consumer, while the running charges depend upon the number of units consumed by the consumers. Thus, the consumer is charged at a certain amount per kilowatt of maximum demand plus a certain amount per kWh of electrical energy consumed. Fifth one, that is the maximum demand tariff. So it is similar to the two-part tariff, with the only difference that the maximum demand is actually measured by installing maximum demand meter in the premises of the consumer. This removes the objection of two-part tariff where the maximum demand is merely on the basis of treatable value. This type of tariff is mostly applied to big consumers. Go for the next one, that is the power factor tariff. The tariff in which power factor of the consumer's load is taken into consideration is known as the power factor tariff. So in the AC system, power factor plays an important role. A low power factor increases the rating of station equipment and line losses. Therefore, consumer having a low power factor must be penalized. So there are three types of power factor tariff. First one, that is the kVA maximum demand tariff. So equation for the power factor, that is the cos phi is equal to kW upon kVA. So it is modified from the two-part tariff. In this case, the fixed charges are made on the basis of maximum demand in kVA and not in kW. As kVA, that is the kilowatt ampere, inversely proportional to the power factor, therefore a consumer having a low power factor has to contribute more towards the fixed charge. This type of tariff has the advantage that it encourages the consumers to operate their appliances and machinery in improved power factor. The equation for the power factor, that is the cos phi is equal to kW divided by kVA. This is the equation for the power factor. Second method for the power factor tariff, that is the sliding scale tariff. This is also known as average power factor tariff. In this case, an average power factor, that is the 0.8 lagging, is taken as the reference. If the power factor of the consumer falls below this factor, suitable additional charges are made. On the other hand, if the power factor is above the reference, a discount is allowed to the consumers. third method, that is the kilowatt and kVA tariff. So in this type, both active and reactive power supplies are charged separately. A consumer having a low power factor will draw more reactive power and hence shall have to pay more charges. Last one, that is the three-part tariff. So when the total charges to be made from the consumers is divided into three categories. First one, that is the fixed charges, second one, that is the semi-fixed charges, and third one, that is the running charges. It is known as three-part tariff, and this type of tariff is generally applied to big consumers. So this is the theory that is based on the types of tariff, and mostly in the residential area, block rate tariff that should be applied. Whereas if we can go through a industrial side, so for that two-part tariff that is applied. Now we are going for the example that is based on the tariffs. So example number 1, that is the calculate annual bill of consumers whose maximum demand is 100 kilowatt, power factor is equal to 0.8 lagging, and load factor that is equal to 60%. The tariff used is rupees 75 per kilovolt ampere of maximum demand plus 15 paisa per kilowatt hour consumes. So in this case, we have to calculate the annual bill at the consumer side. So as we all know, the equation for the unit consumed per year, that is equal to maximum demand into load factor into hours in a year. So that's why maximum demand that is equal to 100 kilowatt, that is given inside the equation. Then the load factor that is also given 60%. So we can remove the percentage, so we can write 0.6. Then hour in a year, that is equal to 8760 hours. So we can get the answer 5.256 into 10⁵ kilowatt hour. After that, why we can calculate the unit consumed per year? Because whatever the tariff that should be given, that is the rupees 75 per kVA of maximum demand plus 15 paisa per kilowatt hour, that is the unit consumed per year. So that's why we can calculate the unit consumes. Second one, that is the maximum demand in kVA at 0.8 power factor lagging. So as already we have discussed, the equation for the cos phi that is equal to kW upon kVA. So we can try to find out the kVA. So kVA is equal to kilowatt, and kilowatt that is equal to 100 kilowatt that is given, and divided by cos phi that is equal to 0.8 that is given inside the problem. So we can get the answer 125 kVA. Because why we can calculate the maximum demand in kVA? Because tariff that is given 75 rupees per kVA. So annual bill that is equal to maximum demand charges per plus energy charges. So rupees 75 per kVA. One kVA having the charges of 75. So we have the charges of 125 is equal to what? So we can multiply 75 into 125 plus 15 paisa per kWh. 1 kilowatt hour having a rate of 15 paisa, that is equal to 0.15 rupees. So we have the unit generated, that is the 5.256 into 10⁵, that is equal to what? So that's why we have multiplied 0.15, whatever the paisa that is given, that we have converted in terms of rupees. 1 rupees is equal to 100 paisa. So that's why we have multiplied 0.15 into 5.256 into 10⁵. So we can get the answer 9375 plus 78840. So we can get the answer annual bill that is equal to 88215. So this is the annual bill annually. So this is the finishing of example number 1, and in this way we can calculate the energy annual bill at the consumer side. Go for the second example. A factory has a maximum load of 240 kilowatt at a 0.8 power factor lagging with an annual consumption of 50,000 units. The tariff is rupees 50 per kVA of maximum demand plus 10 paisa per unit. Calculate the flat rate of energy consumptions. What will be the annual saving if power factor is raised to unity? So firstly we can go through a power factor of 0.8. that is mentioned over here, 0.8. So cos phi is equal to kW upon kVA. So kVA is equal to kW, that is equal to 240, that is given inside the equation, divided by power factor of 0.8. Having a equation, that is the cos phi is equal to kW divided by kVA. So we can get the we have to calculate the kVA. So kVA is equal to kilowatt upon cos phi. So we can get the answer for the maximum demand, that is equal to 300 kVA. Then after we can go for the equation for the energy bill. Energy bill is equal to demand charges plus energy charges. So demand charges, that is given 50 rupees per kVA and 10 paisa per unit. So we have the unit of 50,000 and we have the kVA of 300. So that's why we have multiplied 1 kVA having a cost of 50 rupees. So 300 kVA is equal to what? So 50 into 300 plus 50,000 unit having a cost, that is equal to 10 paisa. So sorry, 1 unit having a charge of 10 paisa. So 50,000 unit is equal to what? So that's why we, and again we can try to we will try to convert a 10 paisa in terms of rupees. So that's why we have written 0.1 into 50,000. So we can get the answer 15,000 plus 5,000. So final answer for the annual bill, that is equal to rupees 20,000. Then after flat rate unit, having a equation, that is the annual bill divided by annual consumption. Annual bill, that is the 20,000 and annual consumption, that is around 50,000 unit, that is given inside the problem. So we can get the answer in terms of rupees, that is 0.40. So that is equal to 40 paisa. So we can put the condition 1 rupees is equal to 100 paisa. So 0.40 is equal to what? So having a answer is equal to 40 paisa. So this is the answer for the flat rate unit for this 0.8 power factor. Now case number 2, in which we can assume the power factor that is raised to unity. So for that we will assume power factor of unity instead of 0.8. So again kVA, that is equal to kW upon cos phi. So kilowatt, that is the 240, that is given inside the equation, and power factor, that is equal to 1. So we can get the answer kVA of 240. Then after we can go for the annual bill. So as per the equation, demand charges plus energy charges. Demand charges, that is given 50 and having a kVA of 240 plus unit charges, that is given 10 paisa. So here we have written 0.1 rupees, 0.1 rupees into unit of 50,000. So we can get the answer 12,000 plus 5,000. So total annual bill, that is equal to 17,000 rupees. So now what is the question? What will be the annual saving if the power factor is raised to unity? So inside the case number 2 and case number 1, we can get the answer for the flat rate unit, that is the 20,000, and case number 2 when we have assumed the power factor of unity, so for that we can get the answer of annual bill, that is the 17,000. So annual saving, that is equal to 20,000 minus 17,000, so we can get the answer around 3,000 rupees. So this is the total annual saving if we can increasing the value of power factor. So if the value of the power factor that is in the increasing order, then the cost at the consumer side, that should be in the decreasing order. So this is the completion of example number 2. Now we are going for the example number 3. The problem, the tariff in force is rupees 150 per kVA of maximum demand and 8 paisa per unit consumed. If the load factor is 30%, find the overall cost per unit at unity power factor and case number 2 0.7 power factor. So we are going for the solution, in which firstly we have assumed the power factor that is equal to unity. So when the power factor is unity, so firstly we can go for the maximum demand charge per unit, that is the unit consumed per year divided by load factor into hours in a year, that is the equation for the unit consumed per year. So we can get the answer. Before that we can try to put the value of all the parameters inside the equation. So unit consumes, that is the 150, then 100 in then divided by 0.30, that is the value of load factor, and we can go for the yearly basis. So yearly having hours of 8760, so we can get the answer 5.7 paisa. Then energy charges per unit, that is equal to 8 paisa per unit, that is given inside the equation. So overall cost per unit, that is equal to maximum demand charges unit plus energy charge unit, so that is equal to 5.7 plus 8. So overall cost per unit, that is equal to 13.7 paisa. Now go for the case number 2. At that time having a value of power factor, that is the 0.7. So inside case number 2 having a value of power factor that is in the decreasing order. So firstly we can go for the maximum demand charges per unit, that is equal to unit consumes per year divided by load factor into hours in a year. So we can try to put the value of all the parameters inside the equation. So 150 into 100 divided by 8760 into 0.30 and having a value of power factor 0.7. So we can add the answer maximum demand charge per unit, that is equal to 8.15 paisa, and energy charge per unit, that is equal to 8 paisa. So overall cost per unit, that is equal to 8.15 plus 8, that is equal to 16.15 paisa overall cost for the case number 2. So this is the completion of example number 3, that is based on the tariffs, and in this way we can calculate the energy bill. Now we are going for the question that is asked inside the GTU papers. First one, that is the define load factor, demand factor, diversity factor, connected loads in 2019. Then third one, that is the what is tariff, discuss 3-part tariff, that is already we have discussed. Then again fourth one, that is the what is tariff, discuss types of tariff. Fifth one, that is the define load factor, maximum demand, plant capacity factor inside the summer 2018. So from this lecture we have learned, that is the what do you mean by tariffs, then what is the characteristics of the tariff, what are the different types of tariff that is available. Then we have already solved the many example that is based on the tariffs. So from that we can get the value of the energy bill, how to calculate the energy bill. So in the next lecture we can go for the new chapter, that is the chapter number 2, and we can discuss about to the wind and solar system. Thank you.